Hello, let's take a look from the start. So Black started with micro Chinese opening, which used to be popular like 10 years ago, I think, but I think in these days it's still definitely a valid Fuseki, and as far as I know, my student likes to play it very often. So actually we can maybe take a look a bit what happens. I remember recently we also played a game when white split the side, and in that case black will probably force white to extend in this direction and then probably make Shimari at the bottom, or play a bit more ambitious by the schema, for example, because normally black really wants to develop fast if playing Chinese opening. That's usual. In this case, I wanted to change. I decided to play approach from this direction, and then I just decided to take the corner and then force black to take another big side on the right. It feels like that black's potential is pretty good, but at the same time black actually is playing only on one direction, so it's actually not that easy to get everything. But still, I would probably recommend black to play a move here, because this makes the black's potential in the bottom right quadrant pretty promising. Maybe this schema would be probably also a possibility. Jump here, I guess that looks also pretty fine, but surely I would spend a move, because this move is nice, a whole board strategy, but I'm not sure if this is suitable for this kind of opening. Also, in this case, I decided to play like this, because answering at the top is not so interesting. If white plays here, then it looks a bit low at the top side. And if white plays this Kosumi, for example, that this move is usually saying white wants to build a lot at the top. But white can hardly build a big territory when black has a solid group and also stones on the third line in the top right corner. So that's why I decided to pincer from this side, and black usually answers with this attachment, and that's also what black did in the game. Black made the mistakes in this with the next move, because then white gets the opportunity to destroy black's shape a bit. This result is also not that bad for black, but this peep is very annoying for later. There can be a cut for the future. It's not working directly because black will catch white in bit Keima, but for sure black will be happier to make a better shape by playing this first, because white can hardly resist, because then this corner is too big. I know that we don't like to give Ponuki because it's very valuable, but this corner is simply bigger than the Ponuki. So white needs to answer, and black will play here, white will play here, and black will extend. And of course, this Aji still exists, but it's not that annoying like in the case before, like in the game. So this would be pretty even result, I think. Now probably white would decide to invade somehow into black's framework. So far, quite a normal game, and black decided to play this attacking move. This kick would be a fine move in case white approaches low. If white would approach low, then probably something like this would be very active, and for white is very hard to get some base and also to escape. White's two stones are a bit heavy, but in this case, if white approaches high, then if black plays here, this is not white's only opportunity where to play. If white would attach from this side, which is what white would like to do, then it's also not so good, because in this case white's ladder is not working. So actually this cut is pretty severe. Hardly white can play this move. So that means white has to play only like this if white wants to go on the right side. However, for black it's pretty hard to attack black's Kosumi. Probably black needs to play somehow on the third line to make his Kosumi stronger. So that means this is pretty annoying for black. So therefore I would probably prefer this Keima. Usually in Chinese opening, Keima is almost never a bad move, and if something like this happens, it feels like that white actually settled quickly, but in fact black can still continue the attack, and in this case black probably wants to develop the right side, so black would play like this. Maybe some of you who have studied into Chinese opening a bit more have probably seen this Joseki in the past. Now white is finally 100% alive, but black's right side is very promising. Black can make it grow really big, like this or like this, and black is also very safe at the bottom. So I would definitely recommend to play like this for black. So this happened and white jumps and black extended here, which is a good shape from the top right corner, but it also allows white to make good shape here. So I would probably prefer to make this some exchange here first. If something like this happens, then actually white will be a bit heavy. And this is still not a bad result for black. I think this is a very important vital point, so I would recommend black to play there. So now black goes out like this. So of course this result is still acceptable for black, but white left too easily. White settled too easily. Moreover, white will get this attachment, and if black cuts, then white can actually get easy life. Black actually made a mistake here. This was probably like first clear mistake of black in the game. If black plays here, then at least black will be able to capture the stone, which is quite valuable, but white will be actually alive like this 100% anyway. So if black plays like this, now actually white will capture the stone. Black cannot escape anymore. So this was losing some points. This is, let's say, first very slack move in the game, which black did. Black was probably scared of the cut at e15, but we said there is a geta, so there is nothing what could be dangerous for black. So if black wants to develop from that thickness, it's not that easy at the top, because this move is probably not so interesting. But if black wants to reduce white's territory on the left, then actually this move is possible. Or if black just wants to keep playing territorial, black can play like this. And still black's position is pretty fine. Like black did some mistakes, of course, but since the handicap in this game is 50 points, white didn't catch up that much. So white gets to play here, and then often this move is very big, especially in this case, but black still got the opportunity to close the bottom side, and the bottom side is still pretty big. So that's why white continues here and tries to make it smaller from both sides somehow. Black decided to block here. That's not so big because it doesn't have any effect on white's corner, and black is already spent there a lot of moves. White's left side is becoming quite big, so to me this move is still pretty interesting. So white got this extension and black does this Keima. Both of these moves are pretty big, but black can hardly build something big because white can also reduce from this side. This was very slow. I mean, black of course got some points, but black could also get them like this in center. This would be definitely much better to keep the center and get to play here. So instead, black decided to reduce the left side like this with the cat, which is not a bad plan because maybe white will still get a lot of points on the left, but on the other hand, black is also able to reduce a bit in the center, which is definitely important as well. So this is not a bad move. I still prefer this one, but maybe it's because I'm a territorial player, but the cap is not bad. However, this move is not even this move is aiming on some agi in the corner, so white needs to answer, because if white tries to answer like this and get as many points as possible, then actually black is able to play like this, and this is not so easy to solve. Most likely white will not have enough liberties and white will die. So white didn't want to risk this, so white played here, and black was probably afraid of the center, decided to jump into the center. However, black should definitely complete the shape here, and black would create very nice thickness like this. Still, black's position would be actually still very fine, I think. So in the end, black got the chance to come back, and black decided to play some agi here. In fact, actually, white made a mistake here. White should have captured. Of course, this will be a bit suffering to be forced to connect here as well, but if white connects here, then black can make some agi in the corner. This is a very nice endgame. It's good that black knows this, because white probably later will be forced to connect. And if white doesn't do it and plays here, then actually there will be a lot of troubles. There will be probably Visco, and white doesn't want to risk this. So actually in the end, white decided to not play there at all, because this would be Gote, of course. So white decided to play monkey jump at the bottom, which is pretty big as well. So in the game, black decided to continue here, but this is not the best way. Actually, black could do much better. This is very important to remember. I think black can steal like 5 more points from white. This is definitely much better than this. So like this, white got quite a big corner still in the end, but it shouldn't have belonged to white. So since white played monkey jump at the bottom, black decided to play it as well. Monkey jump is always a good reduction. However, in this case, I would probably prefer to connect like this, because if black connects like this, then black can get also this move in center. So this can actually matter. Like so anyway, black can hardly build some points on the side. So then connecting at a14 is definitely better. This is very interesting reduction. And it's clearly not easy for white to answer that, because if white starts to answer like this, then the center is probably not big enough. Most likely with the handicap still, black is able to win very comfortably, so white can hardly play like this. So white decided to play here to warn black that there is an Aji in this area. So here black answered, but for some reason black didn't answer here. So white decided to play here, and black didn't answer in a good way in the end. Black should have probably answered immediately with a bamboo. That we should always remember, if possible, we should answer by bamboo. And if white plays here, then actually black can play this ugly move, which is an empty triangle, but it actually creates Miai between connection and going inside white's territory. So this would be very unpleasant. So probably black should have played like this. Even like this, it's still fine, but at least once again, black should answer with bamboo. Then if black loses the stone in the center, then at least black can destroy part of white's territory on the left. So black connects, and here black probably cannot save those 2 stones, which is a pity, because actually black caused these troubles only by himself, but black should at least go like this, because black should go through. Now those 2 stones are dead, but still there is some Aji at j6. Also the border of white's territory on the left is still not so secured, so playing here is not so big. So, and like this, white actually gets super big territory in the center all of a sudden. Actually, if those 2 stones should die, they should be at least sacrificed for some compensation. And unfortunately, black didn't get any compensation here. Fortunately, black's advantage before was so big that actually even at this point the game is probably close. Even after such a big loss, still black still has some quite good winning chances. Especially when black can probably better here. Black can do better here, probably something like this, and steal a bit more points. So black is trying to close something in the center, but that's actually not so important. And here actually black could reduce better. If black plays this peep and then jump inside, then this is much more annoying for white, and white will lose a lot of points. So it's actually very possible that white would just close the territory like this, but actually cutting off this stone is very big. Like this, just 10 black will add up more than 10 points. So like this, probably black would still win comfortably. In this case, black has still actually a chance to cut here. It's not that easy to see it, but it's still possible. So actually, it's a pity that black didn't do it. So that's why white immediately, when he had a chance, white immediately decided to reinforce here. However, besides that, black is still doing quite okay in the end game. So white probably needs to reinforce here. I was not sure in the game, because the game is super close, and both sides should play as most accurately as possible, but the shape looks suspicious. The shape looks like suspicious. If white doesn't play there, then this cut is annoying, and black can at least reduce some points here, and that's quite a lot. So probably it's necessary to connect there. But maybe white can connect in more active way. Like this, black would only get this in center. So most likely this was slightly better, but definitely some protection is necessary. So, but here it's probably the decisive moment of the game. Since the game is super close, both sides have to play very accurately. So it's very questionable. Why didn't black connect these two stones. So black played a small monkey jump there, then some reduction, but then didn't connect those two stones. Actually, these two stones are valuable 4 points. It's 3 points for white and 1 point for black. So it's 4 points in total. I don't think there are any moves on the board which are worth 4 points. So like this move is worth 2 points. And then, so here basically black got the last chance to connect here, and if black connects like this, I mean, what was my counting that if black plays the rest of the end game correctly, then black wins by half or 1.5 points. Hard to say if black would be able to do that, but if yes, then black actually would get his second win in our teaching games, because if I remember correctly, 1 month ago black already claimed 1 win. But when white plays here, now white is probably leading by something like 1.5 points. Especially black even played this Atari, which is itself its dummy. It's aiming to take 2 points, but if black plays here, then maybe still black has a little chance. But if when black plays like this and white gets this move, then it's probably not possible for black to win. However, still black tries hard. Black tries to play this core, but actually black played an invalid core threat, because if black plays this core threat, then white is able to capture these two stones. Black at least could get some layer reduction like this, which also black didn't do, but actually at this point the gap is already bigger than 1.5. So there are only some small moves left, some micro endgame, and finally black actually tries something in the area, in white's areas, where white needs to be a bit careful, but there is for sure nothing. So finally this is the end of the game, and white wins by 4.5 points. So we could see that in this game black did fairly well in the opening. Black did some small mistakes. I think black didn't manage to use the potential of the micro Chinese opening properly. I think there usually, if white invades into micro Chinese opening, that's actually black's intention, to invite white inside and then start attacking hard, which didn't happen in this game. But still black did positionally quite well. Black played some slack moves, like especially in the top left quadrant, and black lost very unnecessarily those stones in the center in very large scale. But actually still black didn't do that big number of mistakes, so that means black was still somehow ahead, and the decisive point actually came here later. Normally if we place this kind of reduction, we should usually connect our stones. In micro endgame, 4 points are already worth a game if it's a close game, and black also lost these two stones unnecessarily. But already before those black lost those two stones, probably black was already losing a bit. So this was a very interesting game. I think black did fairly well here, but however there is still a lot of things to learn from. So I hope you will enjoy this review, and see you next time. Bye bye.